They settled here and then they just continued to reside?
It would be my mother's mother came to Oklahoma as a young girl.
Into what part of Oklahoma?
To Lincoln County, into Lincoln County, down around Craig and over around where you go every once in a while. Chandler. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you remember ever hearing them talk about Bill Tillman and Al Jennings and the movies that were made over in Chandler?
Yes, and my grandmother saw Belle Starr when she was a girl in school. Belle Starr and her group of outlaw men came to their school one Christmas to their Christmas program, and all the people and the kids were scared to death. And they lined up around in the one-room school inside. And Belle Starr said, "Now go ahead with the program. We only came to see the children perform." And after it was over, they marched out.
Did she have a relative there in the school?
Not that they know of. They were just,
it was just
in that area.
Huh.
See, they lived in some caves or hid out in some caves along the Cimarron down there. Mm-hmm. They did that in a lot of caves, but one of their cave locations was down along the Cimarron near Craig.
Was it your mother you said that saw her, or your grandmother?
My grandmother.
Did she make any impression on her at all? Did she say what she looked like, how she was dressed?
Yes, she was dressed in cowboy boots and jeans and cowboy shirt with her 6-shooters on and a belt around her waist.
Some of the books that I've read say she was a very homely lady, and some other books say no, that she was pretty and that she really acquired a man's eye.
Well, Gran said that to her, she was tall. Of course, to a small child at that time, she would probably appeared tall with cowboy boots on, you know.
Okay. Do you know Tally? May I call you Tally?
Is it all right for her to call you Tally?
Yeah, I don't call me nothing else.
Okay. Do you know when your people first came into Oklahoma? Was it still a territory or a state?
No, they come in just after territory. They come in 1908.
Do you know why they came?
No, they just some of the relations live around here, and they come down to. They heard of this piece of land for sale, and they come down and bought it. They just drifting, trying to find some new land in Oklahoma.
Okay. Do you know if they were kind of hard pressed at the time to make a living? A lot of people moved around for that reason.
Were they hard pressed to make a living at that time?
I think they were.
Okay. And what did they end up doing once they got here?
Farming.
So they did acquire some land?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know about what year? You said after statehood.
Dad told me they landed up, he come through with a wagon, and he got here on Halloween night in 1907.
On Halloween night. What did he have in his wagon? What did they bring with them?
Come to the covered wagon from, they come from Dewey on down here.
So they had household goods in the wagon?
Yes.
At that time, how many children did he have? Do you know?
Dad was just 12 years old.
Oh, okay, so...
And I don't know how old my uncle was. He must not have been over 17, 18. And about all I know about the trip was that they come through Huska, and it was strictly an Indian town. They all lived in wigwams. And they went up to get a loaf of bread. They didn't know what bread was, so they made pancakes or something. And the next night they made it, I know where their campground was, south of Hominy. Next night they got in here.
Do you remember your dad saying, was that the first time he had seen Indians when they got to Pawhuska?
Was that the first time your dad had ever seen Indians when he came through Pawhuska?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. No, he'd been around Dewey up there for 6, 8 months.
I was wondering if you had ever heard him comment about them. Was he frightened by them?
Was he scared of the Indians? Huh? Was he scared of the Indians?
No, I don't think he was.
Did he ever tell you they were colorful or just looked like
No,
regular
my
people?
granddad was used to Indians always.
I think they have been around Indians in Missouri because his dad's only sister had married an Indian. I don't know
okay.
what tribe of Indians did Sarah
I can
marry
answer
into.
that one. I
Was
can
it
answer
a
that
Delaware?
one. Huh?
Wasn't it a Delaware?
Some of them are Delawares.
So they were used to Indians, really.
My
Okay,
granddad
well-
was an old plainsman, though. He fought Indians.
Mm-hmm. I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but I want to know, did your dad possibly know Frank Eaton, the one they call Pistol Pete?
Did your dad know Frank Eaton, Pistol Pete?
Yeah, he knew him. I knew Pistol Pete.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, for goodness sake.
I've danced with his granddaughter 1,000 times.
Well, you know, he claims to have danced with Belle Starr, too. I thought that was kind of interesting. Well, what did you think about him?
What did you think about Pistol Pete?
He's just no frontierman.
In his books, it seems that they had some really instant justice that was carried out in that time. Do you remember any stories or that your grandparents might have told you?
I'll have to get it from her.
Do you remember any stories that you was told about Pistol
I've heard
Pete?
a lot of stories, yes.
Any particular
Dad
one?
and Pistol Pete got along pretty good. Dad and Pawnee Bill got along good.
Did he think Pawnee Bill was just a showman, a pretty fella, or was he an actual...
What did he think about Pawnee Bill?
Boy, him and Dad's always arguing and quarreling over things. In fact, my got no hat that Pawnee Bill tried to deal Dad out of. Is it hanging over there?
No, I think
It's an old velour hat, and Pawnee Bill wanted it. We used to go up and see Pawnee Bill quite often.
Did he tell you stories?
Did you listen to any of his stories?
Oh, I suppose I have, but him and Dad was always talking business. They used to, Dad used to rodeo, put on rodeos, and they was always dealing in the rodeo games, you know.
So your dad actually was in his shows, in his Wild West shows?
Was your dad in any of...
No, he wasn't in his show, but Dad put on some shows himself.
Oh, I see.
And I think Pawnee Bill had some, maybe some broncs or something that they leased. I don't know. That was way back there.
Yeah, right. Okay. Let me drop back a little bit here and ask you some more basic questions. When did you marry?
Answer.
Well, we got married on December the 28th, 1954. 53. 53.
Yeah, 53, I think.
Right.
Had you ever been married before?
Neither one of us, no.
Okay, so you have no children by other marriages.
No.
Who are your children?
Monty Thomas Johnson and Trenton Lee Johnson.
And the years they were born and where?
Oh, Monty was born in Hominy Hospital in 1956, and Trenton was born in Hillcrest Hospital in 1960.
So he's quite a bit younger.
He's 4 years younger than Monty.
I don't believe I've ever met him.
Well, they have never, both of them say they never have felt like they were brothers. There was so many years difference in their ages. But Woodley Johnson, Tally's youngest brother, has a son, Gaylord, that is 8 months younger than Trenton. And they kind of grew up together. We kept Gaylord a while. And they say they seem more like the brothers than Monty and Trenton seem like they are.
Mm-hmm. Would you mind putting your pigtail over your shoulder so people can see?
Isn't that a mess?
How long a growth is that?
Since 84.
Why
It's
have
not
you
very
not?
long.
Why have you not cut your hair?
Oh, I keep it trimmed, but I can't stand hair falling around my face,
Mm-hmm.
and I pigtail it back.
It's very long. I'm impressed, and it's very red.
It is for a person my age.
It
really.
certainly is.
I don't have that many gray hairs. I'm surprised.
Well, he doesn't either. You've been good to each other.
We're real mean to one another. What?
Oh dear.
His grandmother, Wilcoxon, was still black-headed, and his mother was still black-headed when they both passed away.
Huh.
His grandmother was 88 and his mother was 83, and they still had their black hair.
Goodness. You know, you were saying they came in a covered wagon. Did they tell you whether they had any hard times coming across, you know, like wheels falling off, or if it was just really an easy...
Did they have it, your dad's people have any breakdowns when they came from Dewey on down here, or from Missouri? Did their wagon break down or anything?
No.
What did they have in their wagon?
Just some household goods and some farm. There must have been some farm machinery for some of that brought through. I still got it.
They bring any cattle or horses with them?
They didn't mention that.
Okay.
They didn't mention that. I think they bought the man out here and what he had, but they had the team and wagon.
How much land did they acquire, do you know? How much? How many acres?
When they bought